Hello and welcome back to the quick vlog. In our previous video, we have talked about the types of trigger and we have used triggers as a practical, or we have shown the practical use of triggers. And in today's video, we will be talking on the CTE, and similarly, we will be talking on reverse recursive CTE. Okay, let's use our workbench at first, and we are using the same database of the quick vlog. So let's start with the basics on CTE. What does CTE means? Okay, the CTE stands for Common Table Expressions, and basically CTE is a uh, powerful features in SQL or MySQL that allows user to break down the complex queries into a simple and readable queries. So it is used to make a complex query into a simple query. Basically, the main idea of the CTE is breaking down the queries into a small parts and making it simple and easier to understand. Okay, and the reverse recursive query. Sorry, I am repeating it as a reverse city, but it is a recursive city. Okay, recursive city is a special type of city that allows for a recursive query. That means the query will call themselves to retrieve some data. Basically, this recursive city is used to retrieve hierarchical data like we can extract or we can retrieve the data of employees as per their position or the hierarchy, or we can receive or retrieve the data of the project on the basis of their budget hierarchy, and so on. The practical use or the application of the city is has a huge area, you can say like that, because it is a very powerful feature of MySQL and used in a daily basis to make the complex queries into a simple query. So first of all, let's start with CTE, and then we will jump to our recursive city. So we are going to use the city, and the city always starts with clause. So with employee dash manager, as suppose we are going to select the only those employees who have their manager. Okay, first of all, let's see the employee table, then only you will get some knowledge. And in the absence, or I haven't recorded that, I have added a field called manager ID and assigned some of the employees with some managers. So some of the values is are null, and some have got their managers ID. So if we want to create a city, let's create city on the same concept that we will be selecting those employees only who have their managers. So with employee manager as select id name a manager id from employee where manager uh, id is not null. Okay, I guess you have got some knowledge what we are doing here. So we are only selecting ID's name and manager ID from the employee, where the manager ID is not empty. That means the value is not zero, or the value is not null. So this is the condition part. So now let's select asterisk from, since we have created a temporary table. So this is a temporary table. So we are going to select from the same temporary table, and we can execute it. Okay, we have got the ID 2345 and name of the employee and the manager ID as well, 1123. Okay, these employees were assigned with some managers, and all the other employees have null values in their manager ID. So this query have make, or this city had made the query simple to understand, because we know uh, the flow of query. That means it will select ID, name, and manager's ID from employee where manager ID is not null, and we are going to call it with the temporary table that is employee manager. So it is not that much complex query, but in case of some complex query, it will be a bit handy because CTE always breaks the complex into a simple or small parts. So it will be a useful queries for using in a complex uh, project. Okay, let's use a recursive query. So recursive query always starts with clause, and it will have a recursive employee. Suppose we are going to check the hierarchy. Okay, we will call it as SI. As let's suppose we are going to create two sections in the recursive, that is always it starts with the anchor member. That means the first part will always be starting with anchor member, and the second part will be recursive member. Okay, let's start with anchor member. Anchor member is uh, uh, that means it is used to select the top level. That means it will select the top hierarchical data, and it will give the reference to the recursive members from where the hierarchy is starting. So we will select ID, name, manager ID. Okay, up to this, it is quite similar to the city, and the difference here is from this line. Okay, we will give a label, that means 0 as label. So 0 will be the top hierarchy in this recursive city, and it will be from employee where ID is equals to 1. Okay, it is hyphen. We are going to give equals to 1. And then after this level is assigned, 0 level is assigned to the employee having ID 1. That means the hierarchy will start from the employee 1. The employee 1 will have the highest hierarchy among the other all the employee. So suppose the ID 1 is the CEO of the company, and then after we will union it with the recursive member. Okay, after this, the recursive member part or the section of recursive member starts. And if you haven't watched our video on the union, you will get a bit confused what is this union all. So I request to visit our playlist of MySQL and uh, see the video of union, and it will be a bit easier to understand. And here also we will be selecting e.id. Okay, this e refers to the employee table, and we will define that e later on in our query, so nothing to worry about that. E dot manager id, and then after we will have eh dot level plus 1. Okay, you also might get confused what is es. That es refers to employee hierarchy, and we will also define that es later on. So from employee E. Okay, we have defined the employer, and on the E stands for employee table. And similarly, we are going to inner join it. And again, if you haven't watched our video on joins, you will get a bit confused about the join. And I again request you to visit our playlist and see the video on the join so that your concept will be more clearer. And we are going to join the employee hierarchy. That means the table which we just made, the temporary table. uh, and we will define EH as the employee hierarchy here. It will be join on e dot manager ID is equals to employee hierarchy dot ID. That means it will join on the employee IDs from the table, uh, or the manager ID from the table employee and the ID from the uh, employee hierarchy. So was the first part, like the CTE, sorry, and then after we are going to select uh, asterisk from again the temporary table, that is employee hierarchy. Okay, since we have already given the level 0 or the top level for the employee where ID is 1, that means the Suresh Sharma. So there is no manager's ID as well, but he have got the 0 level, and he is the top level employee, so there will not be any managers upon him. And this is the basic concept. So we have created a top level employee, that is Suresh Sharma, and according to that reference, other employee will get their hierarchy. Suppose we are selecting e.id, e.name, e.manager ID, and eh.level plus 1. That means it will add on the level from the employee hierarchy from and when the or after the manager ID is equals to eh.id is observed. That means whenever um, the manager's ID from the employee table is equals to the employee hierarchical ID, then it will get a plus one level uh, from the that is the level from the employee hierarchy. Once you will get more knowledge once you have seen the example. Okay, let's see the ID1 Suresh Sharma with level 0, and then after we will be selecting EID, ename, e-manager ID, EH level plus 1 from the employee inner join employee hierarchy e dot manager ID is equals to e dot ID. Whenever the EH ID is uh, whenever the manager ID is equals to the EH ID, then the level will be increased by 1, and the manager ID of the Asa Thapa is 1, and the matching hierarchical ID uh, of the manager's ID from the employee table is of Suresh Sharma. That means Asa Thapa is working under Suresh Sharma, and the level of Suresh Sharma is 0. So according to this, the level will be increased by 1. So 0 plus 1 is equals to 1. Similarly, if you see in the Ramesh Koirala is also working under the manager ID 1. So the equating hierarchical ID will be of Suresh Sharma since his level is 0. So 0 plus 1 is equals to 1. Again, then Nirjala Shrestha is working under the manager ID 2. So the manager ID 2 equating with employee hierarchical ID 2, that will be of Asa Thapa. So her level is 1. So 1 plus again 1 is equals to 2. So the hierarchy of Nirjala Shrestha will be 2. Similarly, the manager ID of Manish Joshi is 3. So if the manager ID of Manish Joshi is 3, then it must be equated with the employee hierarchical ID, that is 3 of Ramesh Koirala. So the Ramesh Koirala's level is 1. So the level of Ramesh Koirala plus 1 is again 2. So the hierarchy of Manish Joshi becomes 2. So the Suresh Sharma is the top level employee. After that, Asathapa and Ramesh Koirala are the second hierarchical employee. Then after, the Nirjala and third Manish are the third level employee. So I hope you have got some knowledge on the CTEs and recursive CTE. Hope to see you soon. Thank you.